Hello, it's Saltash Maths Tutor, and we're going to be talking about adding fractions, the exciting world of adding fractions. Okay, the yellow box represents a whole thing, and we're going to split it up now and identify some fractions within it. Here's half of the box. Here's a third of the box. And we could go on making fractions of the whole yellow box for hours and hours, changing the scale, which I've put on here, and that just represents a division into 6 different pieces, but we could go on forever and ever. But let's just look at an example with a half. Here's half of the yellow box, and here's the other half. Don't worry too much, I think I might have misscaled these very slightly, but I'm hoping you get the idea. 2 halves make a whole. Now you know that already, that's all intuitive, but what's the maths behind all of this? Well, actually the first thing we need to understand that any number like 2 divided by 2, in other words, how many times does 2 go into 2? Well, the answer is 1. And you can have that for absolutely any number you like. For instance, how many times does 6 go into 6? Well, it goes in once. How many times does 1326 go into 1326? What do you reckon? Yep, you're absolutely right, it's 1. So here's the idea. Any number, and in this particular case we're going to use 2, divided by any number, we're using 2, and 2 equals 1. We need to just keep that at the back of our minds throughout all of this. So if we come to the question, what is a half plus a half? Half of something and half of it added to it? Well, you and I know that intuitively it's 1. But what's the maths behind that? What have we actually done? Well, we've said we've got 1 half and we've got 1 half. We've added them together, which must mean that we've now got 2 halves. And as we know from here, 2 over 2, that equals 1. Now let's look at another example. What I've done here is I've marked on 1/6. And here's another 1/6. So that leads me to the question, what is a 1/6 plus a 1/6? Okay, well, how many 6ths have I got? Well, I've got 1/6 and I've got 2/6 because I'm adding them together. So here we go, 1 plus 1 is 2 over 6, and again for the canny amongst you, you'll see that that actually cancels down. 2's into 2 go 1 and 2's into 6 go 3. So the answer is it's a third. And that sort of makes sense, doesn't it? Because if we look up at the diagram, that would be 1/3. And look, there's the other third there. And there's the final third there. A little bit untidy, but it sort of shows where we're going. So just writing that out slightly more neatly, it shows that a 1/6 plus a 1/6 is a third. So what's 2/5 plus 1/5? Well, here's a little diagram to emphasise it, and each of the divisions is a 1/5. And on the diagram I've now marked up 2/5 and 1/5. And if in fact we just counted along here, how many 5ths have we got? Well, the answer would be 3/5, and from the diagram we can probably see that. Mathematically, how do we do this though? Well, I've just repeated the question in the bottom left hand corner here. 2/5 plus 1/5, it equals 2 plus 1. And what are we dealing with? Well, we're dealing with 5ths, as I've circled here. So the answer is 3/5. But beware everybody, so far all we've been talking about is when we've been dealing with a denominator the bit at the bottom that is the same fraction. We're talking in fifths plus a fifth equaling 3/5. That's really important. And the next video is going to deal with the problem that we may have if we've got things like 2/3 plus 1/5. As you can see, the denominators are different, and that's the next video. This is Saltash Math Tutor. More videos are available on YouTube. Thanks very much for watching.